27th of February 2023. You guessed it. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't. Stop right now and hit subscribe if you're not subscribed to the channel. And if you're not going to subscribe, just leave the video now. Talk to you today about solar flares. We've heard a lot of people talk about how one day they're just going to be, we're going to get a massive solar flare that's just going to destroy the grids, destroy communication and everything. What some people forget is we have solar flares all the time. A lot of people may not realize the northern lights, those are solar flares. The aurora borealis is solar flares. That's what they are. But some people are scared of them. Some people say that it's going to destroy the grid, going to destroy our communications. Now, it has happened in the past where we've had a solar flare that has disrupted stuff, but it would have to be a massive, massive one to destroy the grid, destroy communications all over the world and everything. We have them every year. We have them yearly, the northern lights up in Alaska and up north. Here in Alabama, I've seen them one time in my lifetime. It was when I was younger. I don't remember exactly the year, but it got so cold and so clear, and they were so powerful then that we were able to see them down here. It was pretty neat. I'd never seen them before. And you people that live up north, especially if you live in Alaska or somewhere like that, or Canada, you probably get to see them on a pretty regular basis. But as far as how do you prep for that, right? How do you prep for a solar flare? Same way you prep now. You make sure you got plenty of food, water, shelter, protection, things like that. We've always told you need food, you need water, and you need shelter, and you need fire. You need a way to protect your preps. That's what you need. Do I believe a solar flare will eventually hit the earth and knock out all communications? It's possible. Everything's possible. I've told you that. Anything is possible. But as far as are we in immediate danger of it, I don't think so. I do not believe that we're in immediate danger of it, that we need to worry about it, that we need to be panicking and afraid. I've told you there's never a time to panic. I've been asked my whole life by people, when's the best time to panic? You never panic. Most of us have been in bad situations, and you realize if you'd have panicked, it would have went a lot worse. But if you stay calm, it went a little bit better. But as far as solar flares I don't think much about them. But like I said, it does need to be in the back of your mind. It's something else to prep for. Communications go down. How are you going to communicate with people? If EMP goes off, how are you going to communicate with people? You got to think about things. People talk about Faraday cages and all that. You need some of them. Keep your electronics in them. But who's to say it's not going to destroy the relay towers, right? So then you're just going to have the limits of whatever communication device you have in that Faraday cage, whatever the range on it is how much range you're going to have to communicate with people. If the world's communication grid went down today, you would see mass chaos. Somebody did a video yesterday, I think it was the Prepared Homestead. If y'all haven't watched him, check him out. He's pretty good. He did a video on how would you get a hold of people if your communications went out, right? What would people do? One thing you got to understand is our whole world runs on cell phones now, computers. It's digital. It's just the way it is. I don't even know, can you get regular TV channels anymore off of an antenna? I think you can, But me, I don't watch much TV. When I do watch it, I watch old shows like The Waltons or Little House on the Prairie, things like that's what I watch. It's just, I don't know, I guess it's getting old and I want to watch them shows. I don't know. But as far as if the grid goes down, the communications go down, and you're limited on how far out you can reach someone to talk to them, you need to think about that. Do you have backup communications? Do you have a ham radio? If you have a ham radio, do you have a ham radio license, which you need right now to operate it in a full-blown SHTF event? That's all I'm going to say about that. But just think if the grid went down, we had no communications. You had no way, to know anything. It would go back to the ways it used to be word of mouth. Word of mouth, right? Well, we all know word of mouth, it's not that good no more. Some person will tell you one thing, some person will tell you another, and you have to decipher which one's which, right? It's the way it is all over the world. It's not just here. It's this way all over the world. To get back on point, am I afraid of, a solar flare knocking out the grid, knocking out communications? No, I'm not. Is it something I've prepped for? kinda. I'm not one of the full hardcore believers in that because we have them every year. I'm not saying it can't be a bigger one that could interrupt our communication signals and things, because it can. But as far as, is it something new? No, it's not. They happen all the time. Every day, probably. You know, I don't really keep up with it, but they do happen all the time. If you're looking for them, you'll see what you want to see, right? What do I mean by that? If you're looking for something that could destroy the grid, destroy communications, you could look at that and be like, yeah, that could do it. That could do it. Also, EMPs could do it. You know, there's so many things. You have to pick and choose and take a little bit of information from here, a little bit of information from there, and make your own game plan on things. It's that simple. You know, it's not, I can't tell you exactly what to do for your area. I can tell you what we do here in our area, how we prepare, but I can't tell you how you need to prepare in your area. You know, take some of what I say, take some of what other people say, and figure out your own area and what you need to do. You know, to me, communication, once that is gone, I'm fine with that. You know, no more of these, no more of TVs. You know, you get back outside. You know, you get back out doing things. We all know, you know, kids nowadays, the most they get outside is from when they walk to the house to the school bus, and from the school bus back to the house. Some of them play sports, yes, but the vast majority, that's their outside. It's going to be rough on them, you know. Go ahead, if you got small kids, you know, kids still at home, get them outside, get them doing things now. It's coming up on planting season. Teach them how to garden, you know, teach them how to mow the yard, you know, anything like that, because eventually we're going to get back to that. And that's just the way it is. It's a cycle. You know, you're going to keep repeating stuff over and over and over, and eventually we're going to go back to the no communication, no power, none of that. Off grid is where we're going to head eventually. But guys, if you're still watching, hit that subscribe button, like or dislike this video, comment on it. You know, we're trying to grow the channel, but obviously we're not doing something that people like, so we're not getting views. You know, a lot of channels, I've reached out to them and I've asked them, how was you able to grow? And the majority of them has told me, well, a bigger channel gave me a shout out. You know, and overnight my channel grew. And I have reached out to these channels and asked them, hey, can you give me a shout out? And I get the same response. And I've said it before, if you give me a super chat, you know, on one of my live streams, the next one or that one, I'll give you a shout out. And I'm like, okay, so you want me to pay for you to give me a shout out? Just forget it. You know, we're going to grow it slow. You know, word of mouth. Like I said, that's the only way we can grow here. We're not getting the views. We're not getting seen a lot on YouTube. We're also on Rumble. We are called Boss Preparedness there. I also have Boss Prepping on Rumble. I just don't post on that. I just have it so nobody can take that domain name. But guys, comment on this video. Are you afraid of the Northern Lights? Do you think they're going to destroy the grid? And if so, when do you think it's going to happen? Because we hear a lot about them every year. You know, that this year it's going to be worse. Next year it's going to be worse. You know. Let me know. Hit the subscribe. Keep your head on a swivel. Be aware of your surroundings at all times. Protect yourself at all times. Protect yourself and your family at all times, guys. You're not safe anywhere in the world anymore. Hit that subscribe button.